Welcome to Titan HST's Business Continuity Today, hosted by Todd DeVoe, where planning meets reality.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are at in this fine world. And my name is Todd DeVoe, the host of Titan HST's Business Continuity Today. And, I love learning new things and sharing what I learned. And one of the areas I'm really interested in, probably the last few years or so, is like technology and how it's really impacting the field of emergency management. So today, let's get into the future of technology and emergency management. So emergency management needs to grow and evolve just to keep up with the demands of the modern world and the expectations that are out there with all your clients and your customers and, well, if you're in government, the residents that you're serving. So as technology develops, it can be utilized and developed especially for the use in all phases of emergency management. And I think that's a critical aspect of it, that you shouldn't buy something that's just used for, one particular phase, say response, right? If you can use it, make it so it's across all four phases, so including the disaster response. And so technology that is used for emergency response has really come a long way. I remember when I first started, cell phones were brand new and we weren't even allowed to make the phone call. Only the captain of the rig could make the phone call off the cell phone because they're so expensive to use. Now today, as we know, everybody has one in their pocket, which is critical to what we're going to discuss today. I truly believe that the future of what we're doing is not even going to be, it is right now. Personal cell phone, and we shouldn't even call them cell phones really anymore. We should call them like computers use, right? Those pocket computers, if you will. There's so much information that is shared and can be used via that device. And it really is making a difference. And we've seen how those devices have really changed how we do our business. And in order to provide efficient, rapid response to emergencies, whether it's for fire, police, medical services, or any other emergency services, you need to embrace these technologies. And we take a look at the technologies in the past that have made a difference, such as the ability for lights to be changed via strobe as you're driving down the road. So the emergency vehicles all have green lights. That is nothing compared to what's coming along. So let's get into each of these areas. Wearable technology. So there's been a rise in a few years. We've seen it with police officers, with body cams and things like this, with wearable technology. But businesses as well should be taking a look at these wearable technologies. So, as I look at my iWatch that's connected to my phone, which is connected to my computer and that ecosystem, wearable technology such as that can really make a difference in being able to find your employees during a crisis. And it sounds terrible in one aspect of it. People go, "Oh, you're tracking us." No. It's not saying that you should track your employees wherever they go. But if I'm able to, on my phone or on my watch, hit a button and ping that I am in a location and I need help, where you could find them instead of going, "Oh, well, they might be on the third floor," where you could actually geolocate them to exactly where they're at. Those devices right there are saving lives. And there are many stories about how these geolocation devices have already saved lives. And we can get into that later. But having those wearable technologies are saving lives, especially if you're in businesses that are using remote people in hard to find locations. Having that wearable technology is really realistically saving lives. And so along with that, having remote monitoring and sensors, and whether it's wearable technology or other sensors that you can have inside the building that will allow you to ping off of cell devices, that you're able to really have an understanding of how many people are in an area, where the people are at, and what services need to be sent to them. Those are the kind of cool technologies I'm talking about. One of my students is writing a piece about drones and how to use drones in emergencies. And I think that's another thing that we're seeing a lot of move to. Now, this is, again, all phases. Where I live up in the hills, and they are using helicopters, expensive, to look at the power lines that Southern California Edison was. And it's expensive to fly the helicopters out. I know why they're doing it, why they have to do it. But then I saw recently that they've been using drones, and it's cheaper to use the drones. It's more efficient, and you can actually hover longer, and it's quieter. You're not disturbing neighbors in the community as you're flying low helicopters compared to flying low drones. You know, you hear that little buzz, and so they are fulfilling that role. Now, on the other side of it too, there's practicing in for wildland firefighting. I say practicing, they're using a pilot program, no pun intended, where they're taking drones and filling it with equipment to get to firefighters in remote areas. And this is out of an organization that specifically is working wildland firefighting out of Colorado. So having drones as that equipment carrier, as the ability to do intelligence research as far as flying and taking a look at areas that may have problems regarding electrical issues, fire issues, other rescue issues, and also being able to give your command post a bird's eye view, literally, of the situation by using drones. Now, there are FFA rules and things like this that are associated with it, so you should still go buy a drone out of a box and go and use it. But there's some training that you can get, and it's supported by the federal government to use drones in crisis. And again, don't just start flying drones because you can interfere with helicopter operations and things like this. So you have to go through a process, but drones are very useful. And then when you get into this, you know, you can actually use drones and have communications attached to them as well, which is kind of cool. And you know, we talked about mobile communications earlier, the technology of the iPhone or the Android phones that are high tech, that everybody has one with them. You know, using also those mobile communication devices that you can ping two-way communication. That's one of the things that we at Titan HST use, right? Is that you're able to communicate not only one way, such as sending emergency messages out to people, you're able to have them respond back to you, let them know if they are in need of assistance, what kind of assistance they have. They can take photos, send them to you. They can take video and send them to you. And we'll get into that a little bit too. But that's using the device that you have in your hand at all times, this mobile device. And it's no longer, like I said, just a cell phone. It truly is, can be used as a capable two-way communication device with the right software that is put into it. You know, use of the cloud. We've talked about this as well, with being able to put your emergency plans, your evacuation procedures, your checklists. Like one school that uses us at Titan HST, they use it and they have their student roster put into the teacher's phone every morning. And so when there's a fire alarm or whatever, the teacher knows exactly who is in the room, or who she has with her or he has with her. So that is kind of interesting. You know, and then big data. I have a organization that I've been working with, and they are using big data. They're using cloud software, and they're using AI to put together training packets that are realistic, time-sensitive training that you will get instead of having to have like this big packet with you going through your master sequence of events. It's in there, and you can have on-demand training on demand. So instead of having to spend months and months and months preparing for a tabletop exercise, you can get these that are pretty well programmed for you and use them, and using big data that has your area, understands the threats that you have, and increasing training. I think that's pretty exciting. You know, and then, you know, geographic systems, obviously GIS, we've been using GIS for many years, and there's some great information that's being done. But the cool part about having GIS and adding the AI to it and being able to run through those scenarios to see, okay, what happens when you have saturation in this area? What are the likelihood of this hillside sloughing off and having debris flow? Things like that are really interesting and forward thinking. And again, you can close roads off early, and then you can save lives. You know, we're also talking about autonomous vehicles, whether it's drones like before, or you have the idea of the driverless car. What does that mean? What does that mean for us as people who are planning and emergency managers? What does that mean for traffic flow? So you need to be thinking about how do you plan for and use autonomous vehicles. And again, don't be a Luddite. Don't push against this stuff because they're going to happen. But all of the possibilities. And I saw this one program that was talking about autonomous ambulances, right? Which is kind of cool. So that means that instead of having somebody driving the vehicle, right? You have your attendants are in the back with the patient. The vehicle is able to get to the hospital, and the way they're looking at this, it's going to be safer, less accidents. Again, this is down the road, right? This is not tomorrow, but I think that's kind of a cool idea, right? That you have a vehicle that can show up, that you don't have to worry about traffic issues, that knows exactly where to go, and the autonomous vehicle is kind of interesting. So I think, again, this is future. I remember back in the 50. I don't remember. I remember hearing about the 1950s that they're saying, like, by the time the 2020 we're going to have flying vehicles. Okay, we don't have them yet. We're close though. Reading a book regarding the future of travel. One of the things they're talking about are, again, helicopter drones that are able to come almost like a bus, pick you up and drive you to fly you to your location where you need to go, and you will no longer need to have parking lots. So I think it's kind of cool to think about things like this, but put that into the perspective of emergency management. One of the other things I think we'll get into this is virtual reality. And the idea of using virtual reality is critical when you want to see beyond your face, right? So if you can put up your phone, take a look at the issue, find out where the problems are, and have it in a VR or augmented reality segment, I think that's really kind of cool and interesting as well. So all the cool things that you could possibly be doing with VR and AR are really for training, and even there are some capabilities and possibilities for using AR in the response times. So these are just some of the cool technologies that are coming our way. And if you think that the state of art, you're looking for state of the art technology for your daily use, and I think that's a critical part of it too, is that we need to make it part of our daily use, not just when the crisis occurs. Check out Titan HST. Come visit us. And one of the features that I love about Titan HST is our video chat feature. So when you take a look with your phone, right, everybody has a camera, you're able to have people that are downrange videotaping the situation and live, right, across platforms, whether you're using Android or whether you're using Apple, across those platforms, it's going in through the Titan HST software. It's going back to you at the decision maker, at the command post or in the EOC, and it keeps everybody with a situational awareness, which is critical. So go to www.titanhst.com, book a demo, and let them know that you came from here, from Business Continuity Today, from BCT, and you get a free 30-day trial of the Titan HST software. So everybody, thank you so much for spending time with me. And until next time, stay safe, stay hydrated.